A man who lost everything in a single day, his children, his wealth, his health, all gone. But what happened next changed how we understand suffering forever. In the land of Uz lived a man named Job. He was blameless and upright, devoted to God, careful to avoid evil. His life was overflowing. 7 sons, 3 daughters, thousands of livestock, servants beyond count. In the eyes of men, Job was the greatest in the East. In the eyes of God, he was faithful. But in the courts of heaven, a challenge was raised. The accuser came before the Lord and sneered, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Haven't you blessed the work of his hands? Strip it all away, and he will curse you to your face." Permission was given. A storm was coming. In a single day, Job's world collapsed. One messenger gasped, "The Sabaeans carried off your oxen and donkeys. Your servants were slain." Another arrived. "Fire fell from heaven. Your sheep are gone." A third stumbled in. "Chaldean raiders took your camels." And then the final blow. "Your children, every one of them, killed when the house collapsed in the wind." Job tore his robe, shaved his head, and fell to the ground. Through choking sobs, he whispered words that still echo today. "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." But the accuser struck again. Job's skin erupted with painful sores from head to foot. His flesh began to rot and smell. He sat in ashes, scraping his wounds with broken pottery, his body wasting away day by day. Even his wife, crushed by grief, cried out, "Are you still holding to your integrity? Curse God and die." Job answered softly but firmly, "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" 3 friends came to see him, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. When they saw Job from a distance, they barely recognized him. For 7 days they sat in silence, stunned by his suffering. But when Job finally cried out, cursing the day of his birth, longing for rest in the grave, they answered with blame. Eliphaz insisted, "The innocent do not perish. Surely you have sinned." Bildad pressed, "Your children must have transgressed. They received what they deserved." Zophar scolded, "You speak too much. If only God would reveal your guilt." But Job's voice rang back in anguish and defiance. "I am innocent. Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him. I long for a redeemer, an advocate, someone to stand for me before God. I know my Redeemer lives, and in the end he will stand upon the earth." Round after round the arguments circled. Friends insisting Job must be guilty, Job insisting on his integrity. His cries rose from despair to desperate faith. "If only I could see him. If only I could speak my case to the Almighty." But Job was about to discover something that would change everything. And then the whirlwind came. Out of the storm, the Lord answered Job. "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Who shut the sea behind doors when it burst from the womb? Can you command the morning or loose the cords of Orion? Tell me if you know." Job bowed low, trembling. "I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me to know. My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you. I repent in dust and ashes." And the Lord, full of mercy, restored him. Job prayed even for the friends who had wounded him. His wealth didn't just return, it doubled. 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 yoke of oxen. He was given 7 more sons and 3 daughters, more beautiful than any in the land. He lived to see his children's children to the 4th generation, 140 years of blessing and peace. His latter days were greater than his beginning. Job's story is not one of simple answers, but of unshakable faith. It tells us that suffering is not always punishment, that God's silence is not absence, and that his wisdom is higher than our cries for explanation. The man who lost everything discovered that the greatest treasure was God himself.